I just want to make sure that you start me where you want to. So where do you want me to start with which part? Looking at the data?
Yeah, we can look at the form and then go into, because pretty much the data and how to retrieve the data.
Okay. So if you guys have any questions, you might have to say them unless you just want to at some point, Tanya, just stop me.
Okay.
So I cover those questions. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, somebody else came in. Hang on. Let me see. Where am I at? It looks like whoever it was came in. You know who was missing? And I'll tell you.
Jody Seminaro. I had to switch. My internet wasn't working. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I just wanted to make sure. I heard you come in, but I didn't know if it actually let you in. Just a weird things going on my computer. So. So this is what the support tracker looks on my side, the creation side, and Tanya can see this, and I believe Sierra can see this view. When we look at the responses, they have some options on their end to look at them. Like I can see there's 10 responses in 9th grade and who put those in. 6 responses. I can look by question. So if I wanted to look for a certain student name, I could go in and look for all of the student names, and then there's actual individual responses. This data isn't going to help you guys too much because it's going to be led by you guys. So you're going to want to use this sheet that's right here that I think she's going to share with you. But we're going to make a new one because this all has fake data in it. So after we disconnect this one and she gets a new one, then this is what you guys are going to get. So this is kind of what you guys are going to see, just so you know. So Control F is going to be your friend for life. You're going to love this thing. So if you look on your keyboard and you see Control next to your space bar and the letter F, if I hit them both at the same time, it lets me find whatever I want in this sheet wherever it's at. So I'm just going to put in the last name Walker, and it highlights anything that's Walker. See? Whoever put this in's last name's Walker, but the student's last name's Walker. And I can say that there are 2 incidents of that, and it will scroll through those actually for me. So if this sheet gets so long where there's hundreds of answers, it'll actually take you to those automatically and tell you how many they are. It's pretty a fantastic key. So even if you wanted to go by, maybe you're looking at teacher, you spell it right, conference or teacher parent. But I have to spell it right. I can see there's one put in that was just teacher parent. I can see there's one incident of that. So I'm telling you, Control F, and if you have a Mac, it's Command F. It will be your friend for life. I taught this to the secretaries and they thought that it was like the best thing ever. Just an easy peasy shortcut for you guys. The other thing that you are able to do is you have this little filter icon right here. And that's in the directions that I shared with you. So if you go over to the document over here, you're going to see it says filtering, and you're going to have all these directions. Exactly what I'm doing. So I'm telling you, you're going to have these directions too. So if I want to go in and I actually want to filter, if I click this corner right here, it allows me to filter the whole sheet. You see these little things that pop up in every column? So I can do multiple columns if I want. If I don't want multiple columns, if I just want to filter one column, I would just pick that column and then click filter, and you can see I only have that filter in one column. So just a little, if you want to do the whole sheet, which may be easier for you anyways, if I click on filter, it will do every column. So if I'm looking for 9th graders, I can go to the grade level. If I clear these out and choose only 9th grade, it will show me only the 9th graders that are in here. So that's only the data that I will see. If I want to see the 9th and 10th graders, I click the filter and now I can see 9th and 10th graders. If I want to see 9th graders that are only about academics, I now have just the 9th graders that had academic issues. So you can filter this by multiple columns. and multiple things that you need. So you just need to be aware of that. I love filter. If I go back up here to this little, and I click off of it, it takes all of the filters off. You can see that. Everything comes off. As long as I click that and it's not green anymore, all of my filters are off. Okay? Is there any questions about filtering?
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
This is Melanie Jones. So if I were to filter in, for example, my name, would that bring up all my students?
Yep. So if you go over here and I added a filter just for this column, I can filter by who put them in. So let's see, you're Melanie Jones, right?
Yes.
I hit okay, there's the students that you put in.
Excellent.
Yes,
Cool.
absolutely. You're welcome. Is there any other questions about filtering that I can help you with? No, sweet. Okay, so the other thing that you can do if you wanted to, if you're looking at it, is that each of these columns have the little arrow next to them, and I'm not sure who uses these. You can actually sort this from A to Z immediately. Okay, so I had this filtered A to Z. You can see it's A to Z here. It's A to Z here. It should be, nope, I only filtered one column. So I only filtered this column. So these aren't filtered. Now I can decide to filter other columns if I want. I can go down and I can choose what I want to filter. If you select a section, so if you finally get to a section that you want, once you filter it and then you want to sort it, you can then sort the section that you also want to filter. I don't know if I said that right. Okay, so let me try it. So if I'm going to, I'm going to go back to, I'm going to add my filter on this column, and I'm going to go back to just Dorothy Macklin. And if Dorothy had 5 people in here, I could put them in just hers A to Z, and they would put them all in order. So you can do 2 things. You can filter and you can sort at the same time.
Tiffany, let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
So when they are filtering in, will that change the whole document, or can they like copy and paste that information in another document? You know, just so, because when you're doing A to Z and stuff like that, not to mess up anybody else's data, it'll just be theirs, as long as they select theirs.
Yep. So my best advice is when you're sorting and filtering for your information, after I go down and I get my data, after I filter, I'm sorry, I got the wrong row selected. See, that's what happens. Filter. When I go in here and I would just select, just going to go to the next one. I would go to the corner and I can copy, and it should just give me these 2 rows. So if I opened up a new sheet, for just me, after I'm done with that, it should show you that.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. We just got to make sure that, again, when we're doing this, like if we're copying and pasting or anything, we just got to make sure we don't cut anything from the main sheet.
Right. And if you do, just make sure you go into version history, because it's always there.
Okay.
Like I can go into version history, and I can see that I've been playing with this today, but I can go on August 5th and purple is you. Or yeah, I can see what you did in purple. If I go down to this form, everything I did is in green. The blue is not me. See, that's Monica Jones. That
Got
was
it.
the form response. But if you're an editor like me, you're going to see who makes the changes. Now the form response means I wasn't in the form. This actually came from the form. So, but you can see if anybody accidentally deletes it, that's where it's going to be from. And see, these were all responses from the form. So if you see this blue and then you see lines crossed out, that means that people deleted it. Okay?
Okay.
So you should be, all right, so let me go back. The other thing is if you're creating your own, do you see this line that I have at the top? and it should be, as I scroll, do you see how my line at the top doesn't move?
Right.
Okay. If you're creating your own, you're going to want to select that. And those directions are in this, should be in here, should be freezing. You want to freeze that row. It's under view. And you see where freeze is? You want to freeze the first row. Otherwise, if you're looking at your own data and you start to scroll, that first row is going to scroll and you're never going to remember what the top was. You're not going to remember what the questions were. So that's all, just as a reminder, you definitely want to freeze those rows. Okay. Sorting an area. Yeah. So if I finally went to grade level and I'm going to sort this 10th grade, I can choose just the 10th grade rows, and then I can sort just these. So you can select an area to sort, and that's in the directions that you can see anything that you make blue. And as long as you have a title at the top, it'll allow you to sort one specific area and not the whole sheet, if that makes sense. So we're going to practice this. So I put this paper in there for you guys. Does everybody have this? They may not have it.
Let me look.
It was in the chat.
Oh.
And then you just had to click on it. And I can't remember, somebody came in late, so they may not have been able to see it. Let me put it back up there. So if you click on that, it'll say make a copy, and then you're going to have your own copy. Nobody else is going to have access to anything that you're doing. So my advice would be, the first thing that I would do if I were you is pick one of these rows, like alert time, go to your filter, create a filter, and then filter just by, we only want to see people that are alert in the afternoons. And then you can see what that data looks like for yourself. But I would play with this form to do that. Then if I wanted to go in and I wanted to sort this A to Z by age, now it's an order by age. And you can see how my top row wasn't frozen? Do you see how it's sorted with the rest of my information? So you always have to make sure that your first row that you have is frozen. Otherwise, when you try to sort that, it will sort your top row. Now see, when I resorted it, my top row didn't move. Does that make sense? Just give me a thumbs up if everybody's okay. Oh, thank you. Because it's hard for me to guess what you guys are thinking. I'm sorry.
Tiffany,
Yes.
I got a Chromebook. I can't click on this and it make a thing for me.
So let's see. So if I'm in my, let's see if it'll show this to you. So when you go to chat and I click on, does it look like this? So when you click on the link, it doesn't look like that from the chat box?
Nope.
Did anybody else have a problem with that? Can you scroll in the chat box to the bottom and try to the last one that I put in? And oh, I know why. Are you logged in with your district email? Because you can only see this if you're logged in with your district email.
I should be. Yeah.
Because if not, I'm going to send this to you in your email. I'm going to email it to you real quick.
Okay.
Can you email it to me too as well? Jody Seminaro.
Yep. Give me 1 second.
Thank you.
And Dorothy, right? Trying to remember who was.
Can you also send it to William Peace?
Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, William. Okay, so I sent that to you. Let's see if that works. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed, so I'm just going to talk a little bit while they're getting that. On your support, you can see I have Greg Kibler on here. He's like amazing with data. We've actually been going back and forth for about 5 days about what this grades information is going to look like, because trying to figure out the best way to do this to make a graph. And he thinks that if we have you guys select a drop down for class again and then put the grade next to it. But what I said to him is that it won't make a graph, or it won't connect. See how I have the class here? I'll take this. And then information collected here. Those are two different, so it won't connect them. So we're talking about, I would take this chart every 3 weeks and make a tableau for you guys where it will put everything together. Because the way it is right now, it's so cumbersome because you have so many classes at the college level. It's going to be a hot mess for what, I mean, you can see, I mean, I'm just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling for the classes. So this might be something that Tanya sends me an email and says, week 3, make me and I'll just create the chart for you. And that way you'll have it, because trust me, Tanya, we've been trying to figure this out. We've been going back and forth, and
Right.
we cannot figure out how to make it not so bulky. So we're thinking that the grades piece, because you guys aren't going to put grades in for 3 weeks, right?
Right.
I think we're going to change that grades piece in a couple of days, where you're going to see a drop down again for you pick the class, and then a drop down for A, B, C, D, E, F. And then I can make a chart. I'll just click on it and it'll make the chart for you. The only thing I would need to know, and you guys would all know this, is when I do make the chart, do you want it to be cumulative data? So 3 weeks, I would do it and just use the 3-week data. And then at week 6, we use the 6-week data, because they're going to have 2 sets of grades at that point. So they might have had an A at 3 weeks and an F at 6 weeks. It's going to try to combine those and give them a C. So I think what you're going to want is, you're going to want me to do one at 3 weeks and then another independent one at 6 weeks, correct?
Yeah, correct.
So
Correct.
that's the only piece I'm going to tell you, is you're not going to be able to, you guys won't be able to graph specifically grades. I will share that with you within a day of you guys telling me it's completed. So whenever you tell me everybody has those grades in, then I'll make it. So that way it gives you a couple days.
So for that particular student, for their grades for that particular student, we'll be able to have individual percentage for that particular student, or it would just be, okay.
Yes. Now, the other thing that I don't know, Tanya, if you're going to share this, because it'll be hard, that you might want to share, is this tells you how many were put in by each grade level, which she can take these and share these with you. So 50% of them were 9th grade questions. Do you see that? So this way you guys have data to talk about as a group and see what groups are having issues. I mean, even student names, you'll actually see a graph with students that need more help than other students. But this is going to be at the admin level that you'll share maybe those every 3 weeks.
Right.
My graph doesn't look like yours. It has like A, double A, B, double B, C, and then it has the student's age next to it. But for the name, it's not giving me a name. It's just like an alphabet.
That's how I had it. Are you looking on the support tracker? Are you looking at this one?
Yes, and I was trying to think.
Using that. This is the actual sheet that you guys filled out with questions.
Okay, how do I get the sheet that you were on with the students? Because I tried to put in my name just as you did, and to Walker, and I can't get to that page. Maybe I'm on the wrong.
Who's asking?
Me.
Oh, okay. I can't see everybody in the Zoom. I can only see like 3 people, so I just changed.
Oh,
that's okay. So this is only an admin view. So only Tanya and Sierra have access to this view for you guys, that she'll share with you like every few weeks. This was the training document that I shared with you that had random names in it, like A, B, C, D, so you could play with it. like that. But this was actually the documentation that you guys put in as a practice. And then you can even have a conversation maybe about, look how much was student advisement compared to team meeting. So, and she can even break that down as far as what student had team meetings and what students didn't. Now, again, this is all fake data, but you'll be able to see this like every 3 weeks when they share this with you as a breakdown. You wouldn't want to look at this every day because there's no point. That needs to be a collection after a certain amount of time.
Now, Tiffany, for the actual tiers on here, will we be able to see what tier the student is on if between 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th?
So let's see where that's at. That would be, here's your classes. Here's your college classes. I gotta scroll down a little bit.
Okay.
So here's one, and it shows you the percentage of how many conferences you had with students. And I believe that you can go into this. I think you can. And if not, I can show you that from the sheet. But you can see only one student had behavior and academic. But if I went in and looked at that, it should be able to show me who that was if I export it. So.
And then on the actual sheet document, the coaches will be able to filter that particular student to see what tier they're on, or okay.
Yep. So if I wanted to go into, let's say, let's do a filter. I just want to see my 9th graders. And then if I scroll over, so that's the only thing and see, that's why I would use the, probably the command, the control F. Oops, sorry, I'm the wrong. Go back. Sorry. The control F, and I would put tier in, and it should take you over to tier 1. And now I can see what the filter was with that student. So if I know that I had Clark here, I want to know what tier it is. But as soon as I type in tier, it'll take me over to the word tier, which I clicked off of it now. And then I can see that she was just to call a parent. So that's what you're going to look at. I will be making this, like, again, like I said, into a Tableau, which will be a little bit easier to manipulate, but this is how they can do it immediately.
Right.
If that makes sense. It will break it down on the Tableau when I do it every 3 weeks, as far as that student and all the results from that student, grade, tier, everything. So, because this document is huge. It's really big. Now, the one thing that you can do is, if you decided that I copied this and I didn't need to see any of this information, say for college, you have an option to hide those. You should be able to hide those. Let's see. Come on. You can see it says hide column.
Okay.
So you can grab a bunch, and I actually moved one. I want to move it. You can grab a bunch and then hide them. So that way you don't have to see those tons and tons of columns at the same time. You can hide those.
Yeah, because at this point for grades anyway, you're going to give like that data sheet that I'll share with the coaches so they can get their percentages for their particular students. So, okay.
Right. That's why we were thinking that it would probably be better to do a drop down for the grades, because the sheet wouldn't be so big.
Right.
It would only be like when you pick the class, it would be like one row.
Right.
So if I did 6 classes again, they could just do the drop down and then pick the grades.
Okay.
Because that was my only worry about this, is that it's just so large. It's
right.
so big this way. I mean,
right.
It goes on trying to see that data across.
Right. Absolutely. So you'll make that change, because we're going to start our meetings next week. So starting on Monday, that's when this form will be in full action.
Yep. Now, did anybody, the only thing I am going to ask is that you all check and make sure that your students are all on here, because I have every single student that was in Dazzle as of last week. So if anybody was added or you need to add a student, you just need to send an email or let me know, because I don't know who would be missing and who wouldn't. That's all. So I'm going to get rid of this at the bottom.
So I have a question.
Mhm.
You said that only Ms. Van Cobb and Ms. Thornton can see the cumulative data of all the students, but we can see the data of our individual students. Correct?
You will be able to see all this cumulative data that's in this sheet. Everything that's in here that you can sort and filter and see every single response individually. They're just going to be able to see it under responses in the graph form.
Okay.
And Tiffany, can you show them how to actually make a graph, not for grades, but is there a way to make a graph on Google Sheets?
There is a way. So let's say that I want to graph maybe, let's pick some of this data. Come over. I've got a lot of things open, so I'm trying to. So if I chose just this amount that I want to graph, you can actually insert a chart but then you need to pick the data that you want to chart. Because right now it has no idea what it's looking for. So you can see all these columns over here. So usually it's easier once you make yours. What I would do, I'm just going to tell you what I would do. I'm going to turn this off for a second. Is might want to say that this was my data that I had, but I only need the student name, and I want to graph, hide these. I want to know the student's name, and I want to know what I did with them, and maybe a few other things. So I would then select just the data that I need to know and insert a chart. To get a better graph of what you're looking for is that you need to hide some of that, the data. I'm gonna pick
So Trevasia, so what me and Ms. Van Cobb has is all, like, everybody together, of course. And then we'll come together and look at that data all together. So you will also have that data, be able to see it for, you know, we can just talk about it if there's any problem areas, but you can, like Tiffany just put on there, you can make your own graph for your particular students to,
right.
To see what that looks like for their percentage.
Yeah, but you just have to decide what things you want in the graph. So if you wanted like student name, that would need to be in there. You have to decide. So right now it's trying to sort D. Do you see that? So what information do I have in D? Nothing. So I'd have to pick E. So that's the only thing you have to be aware of, is what it's actually trying to graph for you.
Okay.
So I don't want D. I would want maybe another label. No, not Siri. E. But it's not letting me because I'm only graphing one thing. I need more data than this to actually graph. That's the problem. You need a lot more data than two things to graph. So what would you be graphing before besides grades?
So one thing that they'll be doing is for their actual meeting, so advisement. So they would have the student, like the individual student, and then the amount of advisement sessions that they have with that student within a 3-week time. So they would be graphing something like that to see what percentage of meetings that they have with that student within a 3-week time.
So then you'd have to sort by student, which would be your first thing. So you only have one student would be what I would think.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'd filter by, but see, I only have one. Like you need more information, and then you sort by the types of meeting. So yeah,
Okay.
you'll be able to do that. There's just not enough information in this sheet to do that.
Right.
But we can do that at a later date once we pick up some information.
So what we'll probably do is, Tiffany, if it's okay, like our first 3-week report day that we have, maybe we can have another Zoom where the coaches will have the information, and then you can show them as far as meetings, and then we'll have for grades and what that will look like.
Yes, absolutely. And then I'll show you how to grade for specific, or to graph for specific items. Okay, so when she tells me she wants you guys to graph for types of meetings on a particular student, I'll walk you directly through that with your students so you'll know how to do it. So that way there's no questions. Sorry, I'm scrolling down to the...
That's fine, because the main thing is like percentages on that student for advisement and percentages on that student for grade.
Mm-hmm. So this question, it's not going to be a checkbox anymore. This is the one there's going to have a drop down and then select the.
Right.
In this one. And then I'm going to delete all the data after with this meeting. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, so I just need anybody to email me with any students that are missing.
Right.
On this list. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's easy for you guys that you're going to want to use. I can't think of it. I would definitely hide your first 2 columns too, because you're never going to use these columns. Let's hide them. And then it's easier for you to look at the data across. It's also easier if you're looking at data on a particular student and you click on it, and then when you scroll over, you'll be able to see in blue what students you're working with.
Right. So mainly on that main sheet form there, I would recommend for the coaches, and coaches, you let me know what will probably be easier for you. So like copying and pasting your students' data. And I'm talking about pretty much mainly when the 3-week check comes around, copy and pasting your particular data for your students. So you'll have it on a sheet, and then you can get that data once we talk with Tiffany in 3 weeks, and you'll have your specific data on a sheet. And then we can just work with that data and then, and get that from the sheets. What do you think?
There's no.
Uh-oh. What are you guys thinking right now? What are you feeling?
I think that will work for me, Tanya. That will work for me.
To copy it. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, can you all hear me?
Yeah.
No, I was just saying that can work for me. What you were just suggesting, and then we'll take it from there after the first 3-week check.
Yeah, because I'm thinking either copy and paste because this form, like Tiffany said, it's going to have everybody's data on it. It's going to have yours, right. Will's, everybody's, Mrs. Tabor's, everybody's data on it. So that's why you got to learn that filter and get just your students, and then you can just copy and paste it into your own drive and then work off of that data once Tiffany shows us.
Yeah. Okay. The other thing, and you have to remember, once you start doing this, you may have 100 students on here. The only other thing that you may want to do is that once we change these grades, because it's not going to look like this, I can actually make it so anytime that text contains, where is it at? Text contains, anytime I see a grade of a C come up, it gives me an alert that it's a C. So I know that I need to talk to that student. Because I'm going to change this where the grade is here, the name of the class is here, and the grades will all show up here. So it'll be one column where you see the name of the class here and the grade here. And that way it'll alert you anytime that you need to work with somebody that has that grade.
So Tiffany, can I give you, because I'll give you the same color format as YSU has on Blackboard.
Yes.
So C is a yellow and then A, and so we can get used to those colors because they're the same on Blackboard. High school coaches, I mean, you know, because I don't think Progress Book doesn't have by color code for a grade. But again, you'll know that if they're in trouble, like a C and then a D is like orange, I think, for Blackboard, and then an F is red. So yeah.
So then when you guys look at this, and it'll be a little bit different. And like I said, I'm going to change it for you guys. So when they come in, A's will be green, C's will be yellow, D's will be, you see that, will be orange if anybody puts that data in. So if I added D, it should be, let's see, data. And as they come in, it should change it. Make sure I put it in right. Nope, add another rule. Contains a D. I'm gonna make it light orange so you can see it. And you can see now if somebody filled out the form and they put a grade, it's automatically going to be colored. So it'll alert you guys to those grades.
I like that. Yeah.
So when we change it, it's going to look more like, sorry, I'm scrolling so fast. Actually, do you see where she has class 3, Spanish 2, and a B? So this column right here will be alerted to, so no matter what class she puts in as class 3, it will alert you to the certain colors that you have for YSU. For class 1, class 2, class 3. It just won't be that large. Does everybody like that?
Yes.
Okay, okay. I'm just trying to make it easier and not harder.
Right.
I think I need this. So is there anything else you guys want me to go over right now? And I got to go out to the sheet that you shared with me.
I think that once we've filled out this form for the next 3 weeks, and then once we come back to you with all of our data, then it will start making sense once we do that. So now it's for this form right here, that because I think one of the coaches asked, how can we access this? How can they get their hands
on this form? Can you hear me? I'm sorry.
She froze. Her computer.
Okay. I was like, is it my Wi-Fi? I'm not sure.
No, it's her. She'll come back in like a second.
Yeah, and I don't know if she showed you guys. I don't know if they told you this. Next. I should have went to college. Let me go back. So if I choose a college class, the one thing that I did like about this is you can just start to type in the name of the class and it should come up. I'm gonna show you that. I gotta get to college classes. So to choose my class, if I wanted geography, I just start to type the letters and it takes me down there. If my class started with the letter T, it'll take me, if I type the letter T, it will take me to those classes that start with the letter T. So I don't have to scroll through that list every single time of 132 classes. Just start to type. So if I'm here and it'll take you down, just start typing the letters and it will take you to that class, if that helps. because it's a huge list.
Mm-hmm.
Just a hack for you guys. Trying to work smarter, not harder.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. Well, let me tell you, I hate filling out forms, so I understand when you want something that's short and sweet that helps you out. Terrible. Is there anything else I can answer for you? Oh, there she is. What were you saying? I thought it was me.
Oh, I think I got cut off.
You did.
My internet, it's trash.
You don't have to feel bad. I've got my company coming on Wednesday. They've got to do something because my modem's from like 2005. So I'm like, you have to do this. I can't work like this.
What I was saying was, for the coaches to have access to the form whenever they need it, don't they just need the link to put it somewhere?
Yeah, do you guys want me to put this somewhere where you guys can access it on your website? I don't think anybody else is going to have fun filling that out. So, I mean, I can just put it on your website somewhere for you guys if you want it under, I think I have coaches on it.
Yeah, you can. Is that okay?
Yeah. And then down here after that, coaches, oh, by the way, there's a page out there that introduces you guys, but the staff is old. So I just disabled it. It's still there. So if you want your staff listed, just make sure Mark gets an updated list because it's not even, I mean, it's from probably 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay, I'll give them the updated list.
Yeah.
I have a question. If you put it up here, can we still copy that and put it in our drive?
It'll already be in your drive if she, well, no, if she shared it with you, you should be able to see it.
Yeah, I think everybody should have it because Miss Jones shared it with everybody to try it. Remember, she sent you guys an email for you guys to try it or to see what it looks like. That's it. So you guys should have it if you clicked on it.
I think my thing is I still have 2 drives. That's why.
Okay.
What do you want me to call this?
I think, isn't it the support tracker? The YREC support tracker?
Yes.
Okay. Or student support tracker, yep.
I'm just doing this so you guys will all see exactly where it is.
Okay.
There's no questions. Like, where did she put it? I know she put it out there somewhere, but I don't know where it went. And I'm going to open it in a new window. So now when you guys go out there under academic coaches, if you ever can't find it, you should be able to click here and it will open that link. Okay? And it has my email address because I'm logged into my Google. So when you click on it, it should have your email address up here. Okay? So if you ever can't find it, that's what it's going to be. But yeah, if you guys ever have any questions about how I did anything, definitely take a look at this sheet here. And this is your like table of contents that will help you with everything that I just did with you. I don't think you're going to be using split text to columns, but a lot of people ask me when you have 2 names in one and they need to share first and last name and they need to filter it by first name or last name. This is how you split that column. So, and I know that when your data comes in, they're typing the kid's name in, but they might need to split by last name and first name, or they might need to split this by first name. That's how you're going to split the column so they can then do it just by first name. I don't know why, but people always ask that. So that's in there.
So coaches, you know, this week, since we're not having meetings, please look at the link that Tiffany gave us and kind of play with it. Because when we roll this out, you're not going to be able to, we don't want you playing with the regular, the Google Sheet everybody would be using. So this will kind of be our our time to kind of play with it and see, especially that filter. That's real. I like that. When you told me that last week, I was like, oh.
That find, I know, find everything. I'm actually gonna unlink this form now. So any data anybody puts in right now is not gonna go into that practice form. And then we can make a new one. Because I'm gonna
we're
delete
done
all
practicing. Yeah, we're done on that form practicing. We'll just practice on the one that you gave us.
Okay. Yep. So I can see there's 0 responses. So now when I come to my data, you guys will see there's nothing in here. All my graphs are gone. And then these were just emails that you sent to people. So this is for you to know who you actually sent the form to that has it. So, and then you can send them a reminder to fill it out every once in a while. Just right there. Fill out the form. But that's for you and Sierra, so that you guys have that little piece. Is there any other questions I can help you with to make it easier? You have any questions about the sheet and sorting a sheet or filtering a sheet or making the sheet easier for you guys to look at? Because it's kind of big now. So I'm gonna try to condense it for you guys.
Right. I'm good.
All righty.
Thank you so much. It's been really helpful.
Yeah, it has been. I like it.
We'll meet again, so when we have more data, you guys can talk about it more.
Yeah.
Okay?
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. See you guys later.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you, Tiffany. Guys, I'll see you on the other Zoom.
That's okay. Do you still want to talk to them? Because I can make you the host and you can stay on.